guys know, bought a Mason, as you saw in the last video. But in this video, we wanted to do a full breakdown over the next couple videos actually of the inside and outs of an all-wheel drive trophy truck. So on this first episode of a deep dive, the truck's not done yet. It's actually inside getting finished. We're a couple weeks out of being finished, but I want to walk you around Mason Motorsports and show you kind of what it takes to build an all-wheel drive here. And then over the next couple episodes, we'll dive into deeper, you know, the live valves, Fox shocks, engines, all kinds of cool stuff. But for now, let's go check out Mason and where they build these magical all-wheel drive 1,000 horsepower trophy trucks. As you can see, my truck and then one other truck right now. This is where they're being assembled. So different spots throughout the shop, which I'll show you, where they start to finish, but this is kind of the finish line. So right when you walk in, this is the final one, which is my truck. So this is currently, we're a couple weeks out. There's no wiring yet, but our Croyer engine is in. They just put the portals in the front end. That is getting assembled. Our Mason-matic transmission is in, which the Mason-matic transmission, fully custom made here transmission from aluminum blocks, which is pretty mind-blowing. All the carbon paneling's going on. We have our rigid lights mounted. Fox bump stops are on. The shocks are here, but they're not on yet. Jacks, third member, rear end. I mean, everything's in here. Headers, cooling, fire extinguishers. I mean, all your bells and whistles are starting to go on because it's final assembly. I mean, now when they put stuff on, it's on for race time essentially. So, yeah, but look at how beautiful. I mean, just the detail work, carbon, everything. Just looking really good. As you can see, finished truck almost, semi-finished truck. So next, this truck will get moved here. Next truck will get, so kind of gets built down the line. All right, as you make your way past the assembly part, you come into this dark corner. It's kind of empty right now because it is almost Christmas. So, but in here is all the drivetrain. So this is where they're doing the Mason-matic building and servicing. The rear third members, underdrives, portals. So you can see they have all these parts staged. I'm sure if we went down, it'd say the different people, etc. Then you come in here, and this is different bays where they're actually prepping everything, and you can see all the magical parts. Because here at Mason, they build their own, which we'll show you that next, but they build their own front diffs, their own portals, which portals are these things you mount on the front end to, they basically are like these gear things that lower. We do a deep dive on that too, but this is our 10,000 foot tube today. Third members, I mean, look, you can see there, everything is, they started blocked with aluminum, which in the next bay over, which we'll walk over there, I'll show you, but this is where they're assembling, prepping, cleaning all the drivetrain. So this is where the smart guys hang out, not me. It's all above my pay grade. All right, this is where the real cool stuff is. Behind me is one of their new CNC machines. So as you walk by, you can see this is all their machines. So these machines are running 24/7, I believe, most of them. They got guys operating them, and all these parts I just showed you, they're making them right here in-house. So this one's, I mean, the size comparison, look at it. What's up? How are you? Happy holidays.
Yeah, you too, good.
Okay, if we film you a little, we're showing the behind the scenes, how you make everything.
No,
this is the man, he makes it all.
My co-worker James Fisher, yeah.
Yeah, so they literally
program and set up and run the parts.
Yeah, so you see, that's kind of a good one. You can see that the block of aluminum, and then you walk over here, you can see half the trailing arm built. Right now the section on is a 5 hour just to do the top. Then they gotta flip it over, do another 5 hours, and they gotta put in some other machines for about another 5 hours. So just to make that one trailing arm is 15 hours of machining, which is pretty mind-blowing. Oh, there's portals. what is it? Portal. So front portal. So mount on the front end, basically your hub portal. Takes, so you have your front diff, you have your motor, your transmission, then you have your drive shaft to your front diff, then your front diff goes to, or you have your transfer case in there too, but from your front diff you have your axles that go to the portal.
Alright, so basically in the short version of it, this is your upright. Your axle, from the front axle comes in on the top, goes into what we call the input gear, goes into idler gears, goes into the output gear or drive gear, which is bolted to the hub, turns the tire. That is the simplest version, and the reason why we do it is for gear ratio out at each wheel. It moves the CV angles up, moves the CV's angles around so that the angles are not so extreme. You can get more travel out of the front, so it's worth it.
That makes a lot more sense than mine. Well, I'm trying to explain with my 2 hands, you know, he's got a cheater now. Yeah, in simple terms, Christopher Borla. Oh yeah, it's out here. Yeah, middle, yeah. So that's the piece that was just getting made. This still isn't finished, but you kind of get the point of all the detail work. Eventually that will get popped through, I believe. But so these guys are just machining 24/7, because as you can see, I don't know what these take, but literally just a simple trailing arm, one little piece of metal, 15 hours of machining. And then as you see, they just have stacks of everything on the shelf. It's a little bit of excess. That's breakfast, dude. You should eat that, make you strong.
Yeah, one barrel for one part.
1 barrel per part?
Or so, yeah.
You can see on these machines, like one thing that's pretty cool. So it's got several different tools. So as it switches, I mean, there's millions of videos showing you CNC machines, but all the different tools to do the machining. Just like that. Now the next one. So I think it's pretty cool because you have machine shops where you'll see a ton of these things, but this place, they're designing it. So we'll go in the front office, show you where they're drawing all this stuff on computers. Then they're manufacturing it. Then they're testing it, prepping it, and redoing it all in one place, which I don't think there's many places like. It's just you're designing trainees from the ground up out of literally aluminum. So in 2023, you know, back in the day there was dudes hand doing stuff, but this is like pretty sick. All right, and then as you walk here, this is their like project corner. I don't know, you know, that's one of their project corners. But then this is one of the trucks they're prepping in-house. So they do a little bit of in-house prepping, but mainly they're just building, assembling, and then doing like maintenance on trainees and stuff like that here at Mason. So this is the fixture table, where this is basically that table right there is where they go over there, grab a piece of metal, and just start building a race car. You know, a lot of people are always like, oh, what are these trucks based off? You know, where do you buy it? Like, do you go down to a Ford dealer, or, you know? No, literally this is where you start. You go right here and you grab a piece of just metal. Obviously these things are all pre-designed. They have tables, they have all these fixtures. So basically what they'll do is they have like, it's like a puzzle almost. So they'll get all these pre-cut, they'll be notched essentially to what they need and labeled, and then they have these things. So they have a fixture table which has all these bolts on it, and they have these which they designed all in CAD. You bolt these on, and then you lay a tube in here, bolt it down, and you put 50 of these together on there, and then you just start building, and then you assemble it all, and then someone comes in and welds it all. And that's how they get trucks perfect every single time, because they're literally building it. It's like a big kid Lego puzzle. I don't know what you want to call it, but that's how they do it. So these tables are perfectly flat with all these bolts that they bolted in, and then they just start, you know, assembling. So right now This is a crash truck that they bought back, so they fully disassembled it. This truck hit a car at the Baja 1000, so the whole front end was twisted. So they disassemble it, put it back on here, get it back so it's all, you know, where they want it, and they were able to see, okay, yeah, when we put it in the fixture, it's, you know, 3/4 inch off, so they cut the whole front end off and then rebuilt the front end back to what would be original, and that's what you're able to do with all these fixtures and stuff. But this is where they start, they assemble, they tack it all together, get it close, and then it goes onto the ground here, like this one, where it gets fully welded. And as you can see, Mason has no shortage of amazing welders, but a guy will spend a couple weeks just sitting here welding this truck. As you can see, there's just tubes everywhere, and they, you know, they start in one corner and then go here, and it's all an art to try to make sure for heat cycling and making sure they don't get twists or bends. And then, yeah, so from here, it then goes into assembly. And then they take all the parts that they make in the back and assemble. But Mason's nothing like, I always get asked, like, oh, is Mason like this huge, you know, 200,000 square foot, million square foot facility? No, so honestly, it's nothing too fancy. I mean, they got really cool machines and really cool toys, but they're very specified and they know what they're doing, and they just build perfection out of a, you know, a pretty small shop relative to the size of these trophy trucks. But it's impressive. Like every time I walk in here, which I've probably been here, I don't know, 50, 100 times, you're still mind blown just what they are able to produce at like such perfection. It's just like a kid. This is like an adult's version of I don't know, a toy store. You just walk in and you're just like, don't touch. You gotta remind yourself, don't touch. But look how pretty she is. This isn't even mine. I'm sorry, whoever crashed their truck at the Baja 1000 into a car. You know who you are, but you know, can't tell the people. But all right, and then like kind of as you look up in like the rafters stuff, so like they got everything. Like I said, it's a small place, so they gotta fit everything in here. So like they got, you know, you got A-arms right here, but then you can look up there, they have fuel cells. So these are fuel cells that they design in CAD, then they cut them, mock them up aluminum, make sure they fit, and then they get sent off and they're made in carbon fiber. So like our fuel cell is actually a carbon fiber fuel cell, which is a bladder inside, but the exterior is like a carbon Kevlar. But they have to make sure everything with these trucks, you gotta like, even though it's designed perfectly in CAD, you gotta come out here, make it in real life, then send it to a carbon place. Same with all the panels and stuff. You can kind of see they've got panels all stacked up there, and well, why do they have them in aluminum? They're all carbon on the race truck. You gotta design them and test them and first, and aluminum's a lot cheaper than carbon. Kind of cool that, and then you just walk around, there's just little cubbies everywhere where it's like, you know, on a normal busy day, there's some dude in here and his job is he welds A-arms. They're perfect, and then you go over here and there's a dude for all the chassis, and you go over here and like, so it's pretty trick. They run a very, they apologized to me because it was a little messy today, but as you can see, it's pretty, they run a good show. All right, hidden behind the chassis stuff over here, they actually have a laser, in-house laser. So they're able to cut plate work and stuff here. So draw it on CAD, hit a button, super detailed piece of work like this. All the tabs, etc. So what's really cool about a place like this is, say we do crash like that truck, certain things like, hey, you can just call up, hey, I tore this off, and they'll go, okay, oh, you need a new bump stop mount. And they'll send you all the pieces, send it up to us in Utah, we'll build it, do it right in-house, boom. Like, it's not one-off stuff, this stuff's all designed in CAD, so it's, you know, they hit a button, it's laser cut, put it in a box, ship it, we weld it, done. All right, and now we're back to the start again with my beautiful trophy truck. Let's just take a moment and look at these puppies. Some fresh blue tops, Optima Batteries. Look at that, it just looks good. But that is a wrap on our first of a multi-series of a full build breakdown on my new Ford Performance all-wheel drive trophy truck built by Mason Motorsports in Lake Elsinore, California. So this was a deep dive inside the general process, but in the next few episodes we're going to do deep dive into each individual components, live valve shocks, a lot of other cool stuff. So and I'm even going to show you some like behind the scenes of other manufacturers like Fox and K&N. I'm going to go build my own air filters, which is going to blow your mind. But yeah, that's a wrap. If you want to stay tuned for the rest of this series, subscribe, drop a comment down below if you have any questions, and if you want to know any special things. But I mean, to sum her up, she's pretty badass.